Hey there, folks. Welcome to the Crow's Nest. Today we're going to talk about the demo for the 2024 remaster of Riven. We're just going to walk through it, take a look at all the stuff that you can take a look at, and I mean, if I missed anything, let me know, because I'll go back and play it. I've already played it about 4 times now. What we're about to watch is footage of my 4th or 5th playthrough. I recorded some footage, and we're just going to do some voiceover on top of it. I felt like my last video was a little over-edited, so I figured we might as well slow down and just take a look at Riven and all the stuff Cyan's let us look at so far. Here we are in the opening cutscene. I'm going to talk over Atris mostly because I want to keep what he says kind of a secret for players. They've changed a lot about everything in this game, including the opening cutscene. And I mean, clearly right off the bat you can tell we're not doing full motion video anymore, we're doing motion capture. A lot of people have some problems with this. I think it looks fine. It's kind of serviceable, which I hate to say. It's, you know, it looks like Atris, it sounds like Atris. Sometimes his arm clips into his body, and that's, you know, that just looks bad in 2024. I don't know. We're playing the patch right now, and it definitely looks better than it did in the original demo. The rest of the game, at least the world, looks phenomenal. Here we are zooming in on the book here. The hand motions kind of look a little cheesy. I don't mean to be overly critical right off the bat, but this is probably one of the biggest complaints people have is what the NPCs look like, and I get it. I don't think they look perfect, and obviously FMV was preferable, but we weren't going to get that. You know, I mean, John Keston's already passed away, sadly, and Rand Miller kind of, you know, he's a little bit older now. I can understand why he doesn't really want to reprise the role. I know a lot of people complained about the NPCs in the Myst remaster that they did in 2021, which I haven't played, and I haven't really taken any looks at either, so I'll have to take a look and see. I've heard this is an improvement, but it's fine. Cyan's always been a company that knows how to work within technical limitations. Rand talks about it as a box. And I think what's happening here is they're working with a new technology, they're getting used to it, they're understanding its limitations more and more every time, and I have a feeling the next time we see it, it'll probably look better than this. There he goes. Bye! The book falls into the trap, and that's a cool trick. I don't think that happened in the original. There's a lot here that has not happened in the original. Gonna kind of take a quick look around. I really wanted to see Atris' stupid face on the floor like you can in Myst, but we're not gonna get that. Here's our book. I love that little thing that they do. Look at that. That looks good. We're going into the book, guys. It's time to Riven. I'm gonna keep this intro in because I just think it looks cool, but this is a good time to mention one of my other big criticisms, just get it out of the way. I've had some incredibly long loading times with Riven so far, and I mean, I get it's just a demo. They might patch some stuff, and the file size is pretty big, but I cut most of it out. You're gonna see 2 seconds of it, but here we are. We're on the island. Where's my cage? Where is it? There it is. It just kind of jumps into existence. There's a couple other playthroughs where when I logged onto the island, or loaded, I should say, I kind of moved my mouse around pretty rapidly on accident, and the cage disappeared. All these, like, models just disappeared and then zipped back into existence, and I could see Cho standing in the corner before he walked on camera, which was kind of funny. Here he is, and I'll be honest, I think Cho looks a lot better than Atris does. I think his facial expressions are a lot more realistic. I still don't think it looks good, but it looks better than Atris. I guess I'll just give a little bit of background about my history with Riven while we kind of wait for this cutscene to go through. I played Riven for the first time, the original, back, I don't know, earlier this year, I want to say, just a couple of months ago, and I remember thinking, the next time I play through this game, I'm not going to remember anything, any of the solutions, anything like that. When you play through Myst, I've heard people say, I don't know if this was something that Rand said, familiarity with Myst kind of ruins Myst to a degree, because once you know, like, the safe combination to get into Channelwood and all that stuff, you may not forget it. I didn't. I've played through Myst like 20 times now, and I don't forget any of that stuff, and it kind of bothers me. But Riven's a lot different. It's a lot bigger. It's a lot more expansive. And, I don't know, it's just, I didn't really understand what I was doing with the fire marble puzzle the first time. I had to cheat there. So it's going to be interesting to see how they kind of redo that, and maybe make it a little less pixel perfect. I'm looking forward to all that stuff, and we're going to see some stuff in the demo here that's promising in that respect, so keep an eye out for that. And I mean, I get the feeling that they didn't just mess with the fire marble puzzle. It looks like almost everything is going to be even just ever so slightly different. I think it's going to range from, this is just a different puzzle now, to, okay, now I have to move this lever over here instead of moving this lever over here. They just kind of switched around the locations of certain objects, and that's fine by me. I think it's going to provide kind of a fresh experience, especially for people who are as familiar with the original Riven as I might be with the original Myst. Alright, now the cage is coming down very slowly. And I think I can walk now, which is great. There we go. Here we are, fresh first look. You can... They've done this little bag with your book in it. I think that's a cute idea. I don't know how, if it looks very good. There's Cho. Sorry you're dead. You were cool. So you can tell right off the bat, there's a bunch of new objects in this starting area. I believe all we had before was the cage, this sword right here, hello Survey Island, and then the little lever that the guy opens the cage with. This is new. It's like a, I can't tell what this is supposed to be. It kind of looks like a telescope, but I don't know what we're looking at there. I think this is some kind of steam vent or Steve valve. Steve valve, yeah. And there's the telescope. This is where we peer into the star fissure. One of my favorite parts of the original. God. This is obviously new as well. I think there's going to be a dunny number puzzle associated with that, and you'll see why I say that in a little bit. We're going to come back to this area. There's a little bit of a steam pump there. Steve pump. Let's go ahead and mess with the lever, I guess. Forest Islands off in the distance. The trees. I'm playing on, what is it? High performance, low quality. So, if you're kind of unimpressed with the way some of the models look or some of the textures, just blame it on my terrible computer. I'm running Riven and OBS at the same time, and OBS kind of caused a lot of loading issues. I think that might have been part of the reason why I had bad loading times. This is something interesting to talk about. These little, I don't know what to call them, like fissures out in the water. It's like we're gonna see Riven kind of deteriorate as we're playing through it. The location of this dome is obviously different as well. You can tell, I mean, they've changed everything, even to the, like, the slightest degree. This is the legendary door you had to crawl under. I wonder, we're not going to be doing that in VR. I really wish they would have made people do that, but no, you're just going to do this instead. That's fine. I don't care. Hey, it keeps the old players coming back, you know. They're not just going to be able to memorize their way through this game, and I really like that. I know some people really wanted a note-for-note Riven remake, but I just don't see what the point is. You know, I think there was a button in there, too, to rotate the gold room, but there's not one in there now. I think there used to be one. A bit of a lag spike. I had some problems here. Yeah, people were having a lot of problems with the gold room right off the bat. We're playing on the patch here, and I was still kind of having some lag spikes. I'm just going to blame OBS on that, too. Coming in here. This looks so good. We'll go ahead and take a look at one of the scarabs. I don't think they changed how these looked all that much, which is fine. Oh yeah, they've implemented this screenshot mechanic, which kind of made me think of Myst 4, and that kind of gave me, like, really bad flashbacks, but it'll be a cool mechanic here. You're still going to have to write stuff down, I think, and I want that, so no problem. So in the original, I think there was some kind of trick you could do. If you pressed escape, these doors would move a little bit quicker, like, or it would like cut the button animation out or something, and I was always doing that because I'm impatient. So what I'm going to do here is we're going to kind of just jump ahead to the next door that you can walk through, because there's kind of no reason to just watch me rotate these doors. Okay, so we've gained access to the first sort of pathway we can go through in this room. It doesn't take too long, but here we are. This is where we're going to activate some kind of steam switch. We're going to mess with Steve's pump. That's very good. That's a very good joke, and I'm keeping it in. Alright, and then you got to do this. That's going to open up one of the golden doors. I think the only two golden doors are going to... One's going to lead to the big dome, and then the other one's going to lead to the small dome. You know, the one that we saw that wasn't there before, but it's there now. Alright, we can go ahead and time travel again. Alright, so we've just gained access to the pathway that leads to the small gold dome. I believe there's, yes, another switch. That's going to take us to the big one. The big dome. It's interesting that, they've put this in this area. Not only that it's here now, just its very existence, but that we can even interact with it in the demo. I was so excited when I moved over here and I actually realized I could stop the dome. Thought that was really cool. And then, of course, that little outline of the eyes, that wasn't there in the original. This right here is one of my favorite animations they've done. That looks awesome. Very shiny. I like that the eyeball logo is kind of there. It's interesting to me that there's no sliders where you used to input the code. And if you look over on the dome, you can see that the eyeball logo here and on this smaller dome is the same. And we're going to kind of see a little bit more of that when we go into the big gold dome. They've done an interesting thing there. The structure of the gold dome is just so much different now. So we've returned the gold room to its original state. This is how it looks when you come in here, but now this door is obviously open, and we can go in there now to the big dome, but I'm just going to take a quick look. Nice little outside view, and there's one other thing I want to show you before we move that way. There's a ton of stuff that way. That's where I think the demo starts to really pick up, but there's one slight thing. You know, we're doing a deep dive. We're taking a look at everything. We got to look at everything. You remember that steam pump that we changed? That's going to change a couple things down here. Obviously, we can open this now, which we couldn't do before. I still have no idea what it's used for. This doesn't look any different either. But you can see the steam coming out of these objects now, and when I click on this, you'll be able to see. This is what I was talking about when I was saying, I think there's going to be a Dunny, well, there's definitely going to be a Dunny puzzle here with the numbers. I remember learning these for the first time. That was like, what an aha moment it was to figure out what these mean. And the great thing is I've already forgotten. So that's great. Still can't move that. Can't really do anything else here. I'm curious to know, like, if you were to sit here all day, could you figure that out? Somebody in the Cyan Discord said that there were 10 billion different combinations to that puzzle, so probably not, but hey man, you never know. Now, I was looking at screenshots from the original Golden Dome, and it used to be sparklier than it is now, but I do like how clear the Donnie text is, and as we move in here, you can see how different the layout is. It's just, it's recognizable, but it's clearly not the same building. We're gonna go around here first, because I wanted to talk about this kind of weird alignment. That's the Golden Dome we've already activated. You can see it's the same logo, and it's pointing straight at it. I thought that was really interesting. I think maybe you'll come in here in the full game and write all those symbols down, and then when you go to each Golden Dome, you just know that that's the symbol you need to stop it on. I'm not sure if this is supposed to be Prison Island. There's nothing there, but the next one, I believe, is Crater Island. And you can see it just... Is it Survey? No, that's Crater Island, and it just lines up. I think that's really cool. I'm wondering how accurate the kind of lining up of these is going to be. It's clear, too, there's like a steam pump that leads... You can see them leading out from these to each of the Golden Domes. There's Survey Island, obviously. I think that's the number 5, which is interesting, because Gen has the obsession with the number 5, and Survey Island is where he used to survey the 5th age. What a weirdo. Jungle Island, probably my favorite island in the original. Jungle or Survey. Survey Island just always looks so beautiful to me with the brine pools and the weird kind of spiky stuff. So there's the center, which we're going to do that last, because somebody recently found out something about that, and I want to go in depth about it. But we'll move down to the first door here. Nice little shot of the Golden Dome. The sun looks good. I think the rock textures look phenomenal. Like, even in just playing on low quality, I think they look very realistic. So this might be a bit of a jump scare, but this is obviously in a very, very different spot than it used to be. This was one of my favorite rooms in the original. Weird little spider chair. And even the windows or, you know, portholes that we've got are slightly different. I think one of these used to look into the Wark, I think I'm pronouncing that right, the Wark chamber. But, you know, you're going to open up the door from Gen's temple. This, I don't understand the functionality of. We're raising this... This is the bridge that's near the beginning of the game that leads from the gold room out to where we're going to get on the maglev. I don't see the functionality. So I don't know if this is just here as a red herring, but, I mean, we're not going to know until the full game comes out. It could just be getting in my own head. But that's I'm going to call it the spider chair room, even though that's a Mist 4 thing, and that's a thing that should just be left in the past. Alright, OBS had kind of a funny moment, so excuse the fade out. It didn't tell me it had stopped filming, but it did, so I had to replay up to this point. That's okay, though. I don't mind playing this game. Obviously getting some lag spikes. I was still getting those when I wasn't recording, but they were worse with OBS, so if you think this footage, you know, isn't the best, I don't know. I don't have the best hardware right now. Now, before I played the demo, everybody said there was going to be, like, a really big moment. Like, there's just going to be a jaw-dropping moment. And I was just walking around. I was like, oh, are we going to be able to go to Crater Island in the demo? And then this happens. So, yeah. Spoilers, you don't get to Crater Island in the demo. I don't know what we just did. I do like seeing the deterioration of the age. I think this was a clever way to show that, especially in the early game. Returning players know what they're getting into, but when you give a returning player something like that, it's kind of a jaw-dropping moment. I can see why everybody was talking about it right off the bat. Now, it's hard to tell here because of the lag spikes, of course, but I am kind of messing around with the walk speed versus run speed. The walk speed is like tank control slow. The run speed is not much faster, but it is what it is. Just more time to explore the world. So if we move into the center of the room, we get this book. It seems like one of Gen's failed creations, kind of like, you know, most of his creations. He's just not good at this. There's been a lot of speculation about what these do. Some people, like, broke into the game code and kind of already figured out, like, what has been changed. It kind of bothers me. I'm just going to leave it to be a secret. I mean, there's no point. Why ruin the game? So this is the one thing. Somebody discovered this, I think, pre-patch, maybe post-patch. But if you click this button 10 times, for some reason, so it's arbitrary, now you get to go up to the fire marble puzzle. Which is crazy, because this was such an achievement in the original game, even getting here. I'm gonna go ahead and, like, kind of activate it. We're just gonna take a look at how it differs from the original. Obviously, we don't really know what we're looking at yet, but we know it's different. See some sliders. Obviously, a lot less grids, which I was very appreciative of. See, this is the slider that I expected to see on the Golden Dome, but obviously, we just saw the logo of the, you know, symbol that we used to open it, so I thought it was interesting that we saw that here. We haven't seen it anywhere else in the game. You just don't really know what I'm looking at. It's interesting to me. I'm glad that it looks different, because I hated that puzzle in the original. I thought it was just, like, the worst part of that game. I'm tentatively, you know, cautiously excited to see how it's changed. It could be worse. Who knows? I guess maybe the people that broke into the code are going to have an idea of what that puzzle is about now, but I don't want to ruin the surprise. My running theory, is that we're going to be making fire marbles for each of the islands, because there's the color association, and it just looks like, with, like, the things on the bottom level, like, balls might drop down. I think that was in the teaser trailer, so I don't know how it's going to fit into the grander scheme, or if this location is even going to be as important as it was in the original. The fact that we have this early access to it is it's just mind-blowing to me. There was some speculation about whether or not this is a glitch that we managed to get up here, or if it's like an Easter egg, or if the number 10 does actually signify something. Again, you know, we're just going to have to wait and see. At this point, just kind of spitballing and speculating, but I believe that's everything in the Golden Dome. I think from this point onwards, we're just going to be making our way towards the maglev, but there is one more interesting place to see on the way there. Yeah, first time going over here. This pathway is a lot different as well. Kind of just a rock-faced wall. I remember this being a little bit more complex. Now, here is one of my favorite locations in this game. I know I've already said that 3 times, but it's a good game. Look at that. Oh, man, it just looks perfect. This is, in my opinion, the best looking location so far. I love that these, I think they kind of were just like dead animals in the original. They didn't look like stone statues to me, but they're obviously stone now. I can't wait for Gen to jump scare me in that dome. Another little spider thing. Yeah, it's such a beautiful location. And we're coming out here to the maglev kind of exit area. Nice little shot of the dome there. That little telescope on the rock, I thought I was going to be able to interact with it, but it's too high and I can't fly. At least not yet. So we'll go ahead and press the button. This animation is so long that I thought I, was waiting for nothing, but the maglev does eventually appear, and you can see it off in the distance. It's making its way towards us, and it's looking pretty good while it's doing it, if I do say so myself. There's one thing I want to show you guys up on top of it, though. Tell me if this was in the original. I don't think it was, but look at that logo. It's like the Gen, 5 logo. I don't remember that being there. I think the maglevs overall already look a lot better than they did in the original. There's just a lot more movement going on. They just look more alive. And that's pretty much the Riven demo. We'll just, rotate the maglev and be on our way. I do like, I'll let it play here. I do like how they ended it. It takes long there because you have to wait for the door to close. Cyan was always very worried about our safety. I like this because it's like getting on a roller coaster. You're about to shoot off, and then they just hit you with that fade out. And that, my friends, is the entirety of the Riven demo as far as I am aware. If I missed anything, please let me know in the comments. I will go back, I will look at it, and I will obsess over it. Now I want you to pay close attention right here. Little flicker. Now the game thinks I'm in the loading screen and the game at the same time. So I took a screenshot of that, and I guess it's just a visual bug, but it looks pretty funny. I'm sure that's not going to happen in the full game because there won't be a loading screen there, but yeah, that's the Riven demo. I guess as a final note, some people I saw did not like the new logo for Riven. I think it's phenomenal. I like that they incorporated one of the pictures from the stone animal puzzle, and the golden dome is in there too. I just think it's clever. It may not be as iconic as the original, but I think it looks really slick, to be honest. And so does the kind of clean, updated Riven, just the word. And I think I'm about to click, yes, the notebook. This is one of those nice little features we're going to get. I think this is fantastic. You can write notes next to them. This is great. This is perfect material to gather screenshots for wallpapers from the game. I love it. Overall, I give the Riven demo 4 Achenar points out of 5. The motion capture is a bit of a letdown, as are the loading times I've seen, but the world looks amazing, and I'm more than excited to see the puzzle redesigns and the new layout of the age. I'm sure we'll reconvene once the game is released, but in any case, thank you very much for watching, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.